Hi, fourth graders. We are wrapping up our study about the Northeast region, and today we are going to talk about the geography of the Northeast. And so when we talk about geography, that means we are thinking about the landforms and the states that we are going to learn about in our region today. And so that's our objective, is that we will be able to describe the physical attributes in the landforms and bodies of water of the Northeast. Now, we've talked a lot about this region, but we have yet to really see which states are part of the Northeast region. So we are going to listen to this song, and it's going to help us learn our states and their capitals, and I think you'll like it. It's pretty catchy.
Somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour without a care. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour. First I'm gonna see Nashville, Tennessee, then Madison, Wisconsin is where I gotta be. Yeah, then I'll take a plane to, well actually I'm afraid to fly, so I think I'll take the train. Let's go, go, go! Going to Trenton, New Jersey, Frankfort, Kentucky, maybe take a trip to Jackson, Mississippi. Let's see what they can show me in Jefferson City, Missouri, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Denver, Colorado, Boise, Idaho. I love it every time that I go. In 1492 he sailed the ocean blue, but next week I'll see Columbus in Ohio. Grab a little sunshine in Tallahassee, Florida, take a bite of a peach in Atlanta, Georgia. I've never been to Carson City in Nevada or Lincoln, Nebraska. You can catch me in Phoenix, Arizona, or Sacramento, California, yeah, St. Paul, Minnesota, maybe Juneau, Alaska, yeah. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour without a care. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour. Boston, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, going to Vermont for Montpelier, Montgomery, Alabama, then Washington, D.C. to see the nation's capital. Aloha to Honolulu, Hawaii, Des Moines, Iowa, so peaceful to me. Going to Springfield, Illinois, to build a little house on a prairie. In Little Rock, Arkansas, I love what I saw. Going back to Dover, Delaware, cause I want more. Indianapolis, Indiana, and Hartford, Connecticut, need an encore. Smelling pine trees in Augusta, Maine. I like Topeka, Kansas, I'm glad that I came, but I've never been to Salt Lake City in Utah or Richmond, Virginia. Gonna see Bismarck, North Dakota, and Charleston, West Virginia, yeah. Annapolis, Maryland, maybe Lansing, Michigan, yeah. Helena, Montana, Columbia, South Carolina. Gotta go to Pierre, South Dakota, yeah. Follow if you wanna. I'll be eating a banana in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Schedule that on my planner. Friends say I gotta come sooner to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, so I guess I'm gonna. But first I'm going to Cheyenne, Wyoming, then party in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Can't think of a rhyme for Pennsylvania, so I'm skipping to Salem, Oregon, then Austin, Texas, and then maybe Albany, New York for breakfast. Providence, Rhode Island was a blast, and Olympia, Washington was just the bestest. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour without a care. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never been, yeah, going on a tour without a care. I want to take a little trip somewhere, yeah, places I've never
friends, hopefully you were able to see that that was not just our Northeast region, but the whole United States. And as we were listening, you were hopefully able to pick out some of those Northeast states. So let's look at this blank map and check out where those states are. So when we're starting up in the Northeast, this very top state is Maine. Here, right next to Maine, is Vermont. Oh, I'm sorry, friends. That's New Hampshire. This is New Hampshire. Here's Vermont. You want to hear a trick for how I remember it? When I look at my state that is right here, that looks like a V, it's skinny at the top, skinny at the bottom, wider at the top, is Vermont. So here's Vermont. Here's New Hampshire. Friends, I'm looking at this and remembering it all without knowing, and it's being marked on my map. This state is Massachusetts. This small state right here is Rhode Island. Here is Connecticut. This larger state here is New York, as well as this little part, which is an island that includes New York. This part here is New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. And if we remember, friends, as we learned earlier this week when we talked about Washington, D.C., that part is right here that is in between Maryland and the state below, which is Virginia. Now, also when we talk about geography, it doesn't just include what states are where, but we're thinking about landforms like mountains, rivers, and other bodies of water. Those are all parts of the Northeast region. So you can see we have several different bodies of water. We have the Atlantic Ocean, which is on the coast of the Northeast region. We have Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. Those are part of the Great Lakes that we will continue learning about as we study the United States. We also have the Erie Canal, and we'll get to hear more about that in just a little bit. On our physical map, we also have a mountain range, and this is the Appalachian Mountains. In the Appalachian Mountains, we have several different parts, like the Adirondack Mountains. We have the Green Mountains. And so those are all part of the Appalachian Mountains. Let's take a closer look at the different bodies of water. We have the Atlantic Ocean, and along the coast, that's where the land meets the water, is called the coast. It is very rocky. You can see a picture here. And so to help as ships would come in with deliveries along the Northeast Harbor and the coastline, they would put up lighthouses, as you can see in this picture. And those were a huge part of the coastline to warn the ships so that they could see these rocky coasts as they came in. And those rocky coastlines were formed by glaciers, and that is what caused them to become so jagged. I mentioned earlier the Erie Canal. That might be a new word for you, and a canal is a ditch that is dug across the land that often connects two waterways. So you can see that this Erie Canal connects Lake Erie over here all the way over to the Atlantic Ocean. Now, we needed to use this canal to move and transport goods from the Northeast region, like states in New York, all the way to the Midwest. There was no way for the goods to get from the ships on the Atlantic Ocean past all of these parts of the land and through the mountains. And that is why the Erie Canal was created. Part of the canal are locks, and these are used inside the canal to raise and lower the boats through the mountainous parts of the land. The last group of body of water that we're going to talk about is Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Now in our map, those are these two lakes here, and they make up the 5 Great Lakes of our United States. And so again, these were important to the Northeast because they allowed for travel of goods across our country. Now, there are also a big landform that is part of the Northeast, and those are the Appalachian Mountain Ranges. And it stretches all the way across the whole Northeast, and it also stretches down into the southeast part of our country as well. It is one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. Now, from our social studies textbook was this little story that I wanted to read to you, and it shows a story from part of the Appalachian Mountains in New Hampshire. It says, "Welcome to Mount Washington in New Hampshire." At 6,288 feet tall, Mount Washington is the highest peak in the Northeast. On a clear day, visitors can see for 100 miles from its top. Mount Washington has some of the world's most severe weather. It can snow here all year long. The peak is also one of the windiest places on Earth. My family visited Mount Washington when I was your age. Now, friends, this is from our textbook, not Mrs. Houston. To get to the top, we rode the Mount Washington Cog Railway, which is the second steepest mountain climbing railway in the world. The wind speed that day was 75 miles per hour. My mother still believes that if she hadn't held on to me, I would have blown out to sea. The highest wind speed ever recorded here was 231 miles per hour in 1931. Mount Washington sits in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. The White Mountains are part of the Appalachian Mountain Range, which is one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. So, friends, we learned that here in Mount Washington and the part of the Appalachian Mountains, that the wind can gust so fast and that it can snow all year long. So those are the kinds of mountains that are in the Northeast. Now, here's your job today on Seesaw for your assignment. Using your textbook or any of the maps on the other slides, I want you to label each one of these states on our map. So you can use the drag and drop tool to move the names from the word bank to the correct state. Remember that Vermont looks like a V. All right, friends, good luck.